Alright, we back. Let's talk about the deep dive, right? So with the deep dive, by the way, I'm gonna darce every single person in this video. It's just background footage. So for the deep dive, right? I wanted to be known. When it comes to fighter uniqueness, they did that. I already know my four fighters I want to be like tough on is TJ, Protez, Gaethje, and Yuri. Those are going to be my four that I really want to try and master. Also, Tony Ferguson, because I need to have at least one person where I'm darsing everybody. The Darce Knight is not just a catchphrase that I'm trying to bring to this channel. It really is how I've played for years. I love Darces. So, for sure, those are going to be some of the things that I like to bring to this channel in the future. And then also in the deep dive, yes, the game does look better. So for that mobile game aesthetic that people were saying, as someone that played the beta, the game does look much better. Each character model does look way more realistic. The uniqueness on the fighters was felt. The overall aesthetic changed because you can tell that there's unique lighting. Now in the full game, when we get our hands on it, that's when we'll see more of the arenas like they showed in the deep dive. But also, in the deep dive, they showed the defensive uniqueness as well. In the beta, they did not give you the breakdowns where you could look at the menus. So we didn't know about the parry and all that. We had to kind of just figure things out for ourselves. But seeing it in the deep dive, crazy. The Philly shell, fun. The balanced style, the high guard like Piotr Jan, the elusive style like the Yuri, the Izzy's. That's going to bring a whole nother look for how fighters feel on the feet. So standing bang is going to be fun. MMA rank should be fun. Hopefully we do get to pick our weight classes, but I doubt it. You know, I don't know if they'll ever bring that back. But again, that's another thing for another time.
You ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it.
Another thing that was in the beta that I noticed, hopefully by the release of the game, or maybe it's just one of those things that's in there. There was a little thing where sometimes when you threw hooks, on resets, maybe you were from moving, sometimes you would hit and it would push you all apart, maybe like 5 feet, so it would reset the distance. That was a little glitch, but again, other than that, game played perfect. I mean, not perfect, let me not glaze it like that, but the game played much better than 5. I'd say it does feel like a new game. Does feel overall to be better. The striking, the uniqueness, the stamina could be tweaked, but in the deep dive you start to see things that bring you promise, such as the uniqueness of the perk system. We got to see more. There were ones like Lancer that nobody had in the beta, which I believe is for like front kicks, so like teep side kicks, things like that. Yeah, it's all about. It really does feel like it's about fighter uniqueness, so I'll give them their props there. The deep dive also showed that with fighter uniqueness, you're going to have to really play to your fight, but also you're going to have to stick to what you do well. You're going to have to like stick to what you do well, right? So if you do that and you fight to the perks you have, you'll build your flow meter way more effectively. You'll build it to the point where you'll get your flow state overall in a faster manner. Then once you get there, as long as you pick your shots, use your movement effectively, find a way to go out and, on top of all things, fight your fight, you should win. You should win convincingly. You should win easily. Everything should be in your favor for the most part. I do not like how flow state kind of stays through the round. So if I was to just like beat you and then I guess stash it, if I were to stash it to, let's say, round 2, I don't really like that, because flow state means what? You're cooking. So you're cooking, right? You feel unstoppable. I can hold my unstoppableness to round 2. Like, it doesn't drain, it doesn't get weaker, it doesn't go away. So that's why I say flow state feels like an ult, and I don't think we should have an ult in a realistic fighting game. that's like Takeover in 2K again. So if this was like 2K where it's like, oh, you're hot, and then but there's sim, but then there's also arcade. If you're trying to market the last one as real as it gets, and then you're marketing this one as fighter uniqueness to fight your fight, like I've never seen a nigga go in the UFC and be like, damn, I'm losing, and then just clearly pop a ult and start throwing Goku punches with, fire coming off their fist. Like, you know what I mean? So they can change that a little bit. I know we're going to be able to take the effect off. You're going to be able to take the effect off in the full game, but you just couldn't in the beta. Also, you couldn't drop footage from the beta, so, it is what it is. But that's one of my few critiques where I'm just like, I like the idea. I like the flow state mechanic, but its execution wasn't the best. But we know it's not going anywhere because they revitalized the striking and they spent all this money to put it in the game. So it's not gonna, It's not gonna go anywhere. But that's okay. That's okay. There's pros, there's cons, and honestly, I feel like the pros outweigh the cons. Now, of course, we all know the submission system, and which I like the submission system, but the ground system, the grappling is the same. Which, you know what I mean? We could have definitely switched on that, but it is what it is. We're here now. We take our licks, and we just go with what we have. And right now, I'm gonna focus on the positives. And overall, I think we're headed for one of the better games in the series. Probably one of the best ones since 3. If we tweak the stamina just a little bit, because the damage you put out, the reason I say tweak the stamina is the amount of damage you put out, stamina should be harsher, because you can very much finish people in like 2 minutes, a minute. If someone gets too reckless, you can finish them in like 30 seconds. That's why I say, if you can do that, if someone's being overall like balls to the wall, spamming moves and being reckless, you should just be able to finish them. But if you're going to exert all that energy, like let's say how Alex was walking down Khalil, yeah, Alex did walk down Khalil in the 3rd round, but he threw a lot of significant strikes. If he wouldn't have got him out of there and Khalil survived, they both would have been tired going into the next round, you know what I mean? Because you used a lot of energy to try and finish the guy. No diddy, like, you know what I mean? So, again, one of my complaints. But overall, on this deep dive, you see a lot of good things, such as block uniqueness, movement uniqueness, punch and perk uniqueness. So block, movement, punch, and perk uniqueness help you just overall feel like your fighter. And if that's what you pay attention to and lock in to be part of your game plan, you're going to be fine. If you try to just bulldoze people and not fight like anything, just be brain dead, yeah, this game's going to be even harder for you than 5. Because a lot of the things like moving forward, slip strikes, and things like that are just not the same, not going to be in this game as well, due to all the unique strikes, due to the looping and like straight heavy shots, right? Because everybody has different strikes. It's not the same mechanics for everybody anymore. So again, if you did play like that, you just tried to be super meta. The meta is changing, which cool. If you're a grappler with a certain meta didn't change that much. But I mean, it is what it is, man. So I'm pretty high on the game. I like what I saw in the deep dive. I like the overall aesthetic changes. I like the punch changes. I like how the game has handled fighter perks and the way they do things. It's all been done to a T. So actually kind of proud of EA for the first time. Doesn't feel like I'm gonna waste my money on one of their games. It feels like they did something different. So again, maybe everybody's not as positive as me, but for me, I feel like this is very much a shot in the right direction. So again, that's just me. That's how I viewed it. But it's okay, because if, in my opinion, if you're gonna get the game and you like striking, you like taking your time and learning certain things, not just going in there pressing buttons, because the controls did change too. So like, you're gonna be able to, apparently I've heard that you're gonna be able to change control schemes a little bit to make them a little bit more comfortable for yourself. But like, kicks, certain punches, spinning strikes, all that stuff did change. So they're going to have to find a way to make the game fit for you. So if you can do that and you take your time, you're gonna be fine. If you play kind of brain dead, I don't know if you'll like it. The game is a little bit harsher. It's a little bit harsher on you doing the wrong things, but that is what it is. Overall, I'd say you should get the game. I pre-ordered it, obviously, but I make content for this channel. So, of course, I was going to pre-order the $100 edition. But if you just want to play the game and you're looking for a UFC game, I think UFC 6 is actually worth putting some money into. But that's just me. That's my opinion. You don't have to. With that, I'm out. Like, share, subscribe, and tune in for the next video. I'm out.